Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Here I am sitting at the Thanksgiving table. We got the turkey, we got the cranberries, we got some asparagus. I'm not a big fan of that, but let's just say it's string beans. That sounds a lot better to me. Carrots, some pie. In the back, we got squash, we got gravy. We're all ready to go for Thanksgiving. Wow, what a holiday is Thanksgiving. You can see my shirt, Happy Thanksgiving, thankful, grateful, blessed. Let's start with the presentation. Okay, here is a history of the Thanksgiving holiday and its origins. Summary of the first Thanksgiving. On September 1620, a ship called the Mayflower left Plymouth carrying 102 passengers seeking religious freedom. Let me move this, sorry. After a treacherous and uncomfortable journey lasting 66 days, they landed at Cape Cod, and later they established the Plymouth colony. The first winter was brutal, and many colonists suffered exposure, scurvy, contagious diseases. Ow. Original Pilgrim settlement. This is what it looked like. Doesn't look like the beach to me. Pilgrim landing at Plymouth. Looks cold and hard and difficult. Only half of the remaining settlers lived to see their first New England spring. That means if you go to Disneyland and you take 4 people and 2 of the people die, it doesn't sound like a great trip. Squanto, who spoke English, eventually came to meet the Pilgrims and taught them how to cultivate corn, extract sap from the maple trees, catch fish in the rivers, and how to avoid poisonous plants. Squanto also helped to forge an alliance between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe. Here's what Squanto might have looked like. Here's a portrait of the Pilgrims. In November 1621, the Pilgrims' first corn harvest proved successful, and Governor William Bradford invited many local Native Americans, including the Wampanoag chief Massasoit, to the first Thanksgiving, and the feast lasted 3 days. Pilgrims held their second Thanksgiving celebration in 1623 to mark the end of a drought that threatened the harvest. The Pilgrims also performed a fast, which became commonplace throughout New England. What the first Thanksgiving might have looked like. You can see portraits of what they think the first Thanksgiving looked like. Here we go. And the Thanksgiving harvest. Thanksgiving also became a time not to think about pilgrims and Indians, but a day to be thankful for the good harvest. So screw all the history and just be thankful for the food. In many American households, the Thanksgiving celebration has lost much of its original religious significance. Instead, it now centers on cooking and sharing and bountiful meal with friends and family. Turkey, a Thanksgiving staple so ubiquitous, it has become all but synonymous with the holiday. May or may not have been on Thanksgiving turkeys may not have been on the offer when the Pilgrims had their inaugural feast. William Penn, Peace with the Indians. In 1682, William Penn signed the Peace Treaty of Sacomaxon. This stated that the people of Pennsylvania and the Lenape Indians would remain in a state of perpetual peace. This treaty was immortalized in paintings and texts. Though the treaty was abandoned, an elm tree used to mark the spot where the treaty was signed. Here you can see the elm tree right here. Lewis and Clark The second Thanksgiving. The Lewis and Clark expedition began in 1804 when President Thomas Jefferson tasked Meriwether Lewis with exploring lands west of the Mississippi River that compromised the Louisiana Purchase. Even though Clark was once Lewis' superior, Lewis was technically in charge of the trip, but for all intents and purposes, the two shared equal responsibility. Most of the land Lewis and Clark surveyed was already occupied by Native Americans. In fact, the Corps encountered around 50 Native American tribes, including the Shoshone, the Mandan, the Minatari, the Blackfeet, Chinook, and the Sioux. Lewis and Clark developed the first contact protocol for meeting new tribes. They bartered goods and presented the tribe's leaders with a Jefferson Indian Peace Medal, a coin engraved with the image of Thomas Jefferson on one side and an image of two hands clasped beneath a tomahawk and a peace pipe with the inscription "Peace and Friendship" on the other. While at Fort Mandan, Lewis and Clark met French-Canadian trapper Toussaint Charbonneau and hired him as an interpreter. They allowed his pregnant Shoshone Indian wife, Sacagawea, to join him on the expedition. On February 11th, 1805, Sacagawea gave birth to a son and named him John Baptiste. She became an invaluable and respected asset for the Lewis and Clark expedition. Here is the Lewis and Clark expedition and where they went. They started out in St. Louis and ended up all the way in Oregon. Some of the pictures and paintings. More pictures and paintings of Sacagawea, Lewis and Clark. Doc Maynard, friend to the Indians. Doc Maynard was an American pioneer, doctor, and businessman. He was one of Seattle's primary founders. Maynard had political skills, helped diffuse difficult situations with the Indians, in particular between the Duwamish and the more powerful Snohomish, led by Chief Pat Canem. As part of his diplomacy, Maynard worked to rename the settlement after the Duwamish leader, Chief Sealth. There's a picture of Doc Maynard and the chief and his gravestone in Seattle. Thanksgiving charities to help the less privileged and fortunate. Here's UGM.org, Seattle, which is Union Gospel Mission, Seattle Homeless, the Bread Life Mission. Seattle Union Gospel Mission. The Seattle Union Gospel Mission is a nonprofit ministry that loves and cares for our homeless neighbors throughout the greater Seattle area. The Seattle Homeless Outreach seeks to meet our clients where they are without expectation or judgment and provides basic survival supplies, including food, water, sleeping bags, tents, clothing, and bus tickets. The Bread of Life Mission. The Bread of Life Mission helps people experiencing homeless in the Seattle area. Bread of Life Mission is a non-denominational Christian social service organization which provides critically needed goods and services to the homeless, poor, and needy of Washington State without preference of background. Here are some great Thanksgiving quotes. Let us be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. Marcel Proust, he was a French writer. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Buddha. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more if you concentrate on what you don't have. You'll never, ever have enough. Oprah Winfrey. When I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. Willie Nelson. The thankful receiver bears a plentiful harvest. Mark Twain. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. John F. Kennedy. Great Thanksgiving movies. Apocalypto. Lewis and Clark. As Good as It Gets, Dances with Wolves, Grumpy Old Men, Saints and Strangers. Here's some fun Thanksgiving media I have on my other video, but I can't play videos on this one for copyright reasons. Here's a Thanksgiving playlist of a bunch of Thanksgiving music. Why do we celebrate Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving teaches us that we can be happy with our own labors and can share that labor with others. Thanksgiving sets up a time when we can come together in peace. At Thanksgiving, we can be thankful for what others have done for us. Thanksgiving is a time to be charitable. It's also nice to have a day off. Everyone, have a happy Thanksgiving. Let me stop sharing here. Have a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully it looks like this table with this turkey and this great meal. Have a good one. Thank you.